It was one of the most idiotic things you can ever set up for any young man going into a fight, in such a big fight.
But he's not a big name now. At this stage, he's not a big name. So it will be fight of Usyk with an opponent. Not generating much.
What can Fabio Wardley possibly do against Oleksandr Usyk? Nothing would be.
Johnny Nelson didn't hold back when he clowned Fabio Wardley for calling out Oleksandr Usyk. But beneath the laughter was wisdom, not mockery. Nelson wasn't ridiculing for entertainment, he was sounding an alarm. Usyk isn't just another name in the heavyweight rankings. He's a chess master wearing gloves.
Yeah, then people will get all getting excited. Put him in with Oleksandr Usyk. I wouldn't do that with Usyk.
Fabio might be brave, hungry, and full of ambition, but bravery without a plan is suicide in Usyk's world. Nelson's amusement carried a serious undertone. It wasn't hate, it was protection. He sees Wardley's potential and wants
potentially another rising heavyweight that can dominate the division. Right? Spoilers, you know, sometimes you've got to lose a battle to win a war and be a bit smart. And I'm not saying it gets turned over by Usyk because you don't know how good this kid is. What I'm saying
wants it preserved, not shattered. Throwing him into the deep end with Usyk right now would be like tossing a student into a storm before he's learned to swim. Usyk doesn't just beat fighters, he dismantles them piece by piece, mentally before physically. Nelson's advice was clear: learn, grow, and wait for the...
What is he going to do against Oleksandr Usyk? Where do we go from here? Oleksandr Usyk, the undisputed heavyweight king, the guy that's knocked 10 bells out of Fury, not once but twice. AJ, twice, battered him. Dubois beat him up twice as well. That's the 3 best heavyweights in our country, all been finished off 2 times each. I mean, what can Fabio Wardley possibly do against Oleksandr Usyk?
Right war, because rushing into battle with a general like Usyk guarantees disaster. Karl Froch took it a step further, absolutely dismantling the idea of Fabio even sharing a ring with the Ukrainian genius. His tone carried disbelief, almost offense at the comparison. Froch, ever the realist, said what many were thinking, putting Wardley's...
But it's a great battle of minds as well. One thing that's so scary about Usyk is his mind and his ability to work out an opponent.
Name next to Usyk's right now is borderline disrespectful to the sport. Usyk has outclassed the best of Britain, from Anthony Joshua to Derek Chisora, and continues to elevate above every challenge. Fabio, meanwhile, is still learning the alphabet of elite boxing. Froch's words stung because...
Would he have a chance against Usyk? He's got a chance against anyone with that power. Is it likely? Of course not. Oleksandr Usyk is a master. He's a wizard. He's proved himself an absolute generational great, a legend of the sport. So very unlikely. But with that power he carries, this is a guy that had 4 white-collar fights, and at 22 he was a recruitment consultant who didn't even think about boxing.
Because they were soaked in truth. Wardley isn't ready. Not mentally, not technically, not strategically. He's a fighter still on the climb. And Froch's tone made it clear. The summit Usyk stands on isn't visible from where Fabio's currently standing.
No. He's making you move, making you work, making you think. Zapping your energy. 1 minute he's here, next minute he's there. He's blasting away, he keeps touching you. The next minute, because you used to what Alexander...
Eddie Hearn then broke it down with surgical precision. When it comes to analyzing fighters, Hearn doesn't deal in fluff. He deals in facts. And he nailed it. Usyk's mind is his deadliest weapon, sharper than any punch Wardley can throw. In that ring, Usyk studies you like a textbook.
We'll say to Usyk, if you want to box for our belt again, you have to box Fabio Wardley. Now, obviously, the final decision comes down to Usyk whether he wants to do that, and if he doesn't, he can vacate that belt, in which case Fabio would then be upgraded to...
He identifies patterns, dismantles strengths, and beats you using your own rhythm against you. Fabio's aggression, while exciting, would crumble under that kind of mental warfare. Against Usyk, The fight isn't brute force versus brute force. It's brain versus brawn. And in that battle, the
And of course, he'll get beat. He's got to impose himself early. It's going to be really difficult because Usyk's confidence will be sky high.
outcome is never in doubt. Adam Smith echoed the sentiment with a tone that blended admiration and realism. He loves Fabio's story, the grit, the rise, the knockout power, but the idea of him beating Usyk drew an amused smile. To call Usyk a wizard isn't exaggeration, it's fact. His control of distance, timing, and rhythm is an art form. Against that, Fabio's dangerous power means little. Usyk
Why should he risk everything he gained for the last 13 years? 3-time undisputed. We spoke. You mentioned if he loses, people will remember his loss on.
turns fighters like him into lessons, teaching moments that remind everyone there are levels in boxing that can't be skipped. Then came Derek Chisora, who knows firsthand what facing Usyk feels like. He described the madness perfectly. Usyk never stops. He's everywhere, touching, teasing, testing, and tiring you before you even know it. Chisora said it plainly. Fabio wouldn't last long in that storm. Usyk's movement and accuracy speak a language Fabio doesn't yet understand. Chisora wasn't insulting him. He was describing reality. Facing Usyk is like trying
A sensational knockout. Hooney, he was behind with Hooney. But he's got, there are levels and there's a leveler. And that leveler is his punch power. And if he catches you with it, you are in trouble. And he's a good
trying to hit a shadow that hits back. Ben Davison then peeled back the curtain on the politics behind this potential matchup. He explained it's not glory driving Fabio's call-out, it's business. The sport loves narratives, and a confident British contender challenging the heavyweight king sells tickets. But Davison reminded everyone that belts and crowns aren't the same. Fabio might get a belt one day, but that doesn't mean he's earned the throne. Everyone in the game knows that until you beat Usyk, you're just...
Yeah, look, it can't be understated how good he is as a boxer and how much of a talent he is, but ultimately I have self-belief. I don't care who he is. He's at the bare bones of it. He's just a man across the ring with two arms, the same as me. So any man that steps in that,
borrowing the seat. And right now, Fabio hasn't even earned the right to knock on the palace door. Eddie Hearn circled back later, refusing to sugarcoat it. Fabio Wardley gets beaten, he said flatly. And he's right. Usyk's confidence is through the roof, and his skill set unmatched. You don't rush a man who outboxed Anthony Joshua twice and dismantled Tyson Fury. Fabio might start fast, trying to impose himself, but Usyk would read him, adapt, and break him down before the end of the mid-rounds. The fight would stop being a contest and become an education. Oleksandr Usyk, Usyk's promoter, spoke next, and his words were filled with quiet authority. Usyk has spent over a decade building perfection, legacy, and greatness, he said.
Fabio is very good, we have a very, very hard punches, but I think this fight is too early for him, Oleksandr Usyk is a different level, this is really different level. He beats the best boxers, the best heavyweight in the division.
There's no reason to gamble all that against someone still proving himself. And he's right. Usyk's name already echoes through history. Wardley's is still being written in pencil. The risk-to-reward ratio doesn't exist. Why would a master step down from the throne to entertain a man still learning royal etiquette? Krasyuk summed it up perfectly. Usyk earned the right to chase legacy, not nonsense. Frank Warren, always the straight shooter, compared Fabio's power to what true world-class fighters bring to the table. He gave Wardley credit. Yes, the man can punch, but he made a crucial distinction. Knockout power doesn't equal elite boxing ability. Every heavyweight can hit hard. Only the best can think fast. And Usyk? He doesn't stand still long enough for you to find that leveler. Fabio might finish opponents domestically, but he's never faced a man who gives him no...
Not there with Usyk yet. Usyk's a tricky operator. ton of experience. You're looking at a kid who's had no amateur fights, had about 8 white-collar fights, and you can't make the transition from that to that. But don't get me wrong.
Openings. Against Usyk, that power becomes meaningless. The difference isn't physical, it's mental, tactical, psychological. Warren knows, as every veteran promoter does, that there are levels in this sport, and Usyk operates at the very peak. Fabio's confidence, while admirable, borders on naivety. Comparing himself to Usyk just because they both have 2 arms and 2 gloves is like comparing a street guitarist to a concert pianist. Belief is essential for any fighter, but blind belief can get you hurt. Usyk's genius lies in exposing overconfidence. Fabio's self-belief might carry him into the ring, but it won't carry him out of it. Usyk doesn't fight opponents, he dissects them. One fights for validation, the other fights for art. Agit Kabayel summed it up.
Oleksandr Usyk.
Well, you've got to say it's truthfully, it's a 75-25 fight, isn't it? He's got a puncher's chance, but he'll always have a puncher's chance. But he can get comprehensive outboxed as well. And that's only due to the lack of... And he's getting better. Don't get me wrong, he's getting better at every fight. And credit to him. But he's then going to be against a master boxer.
Best, with honesty and respect. Fabio Wardley is talented, he said, but nowhere near ready for a man like Oleksandr Usyk. Punch power alone doesn't make a world champion. Experience, timing, composure, that's what separates good from great. Kabayel, a man who's lived inside the trenches of heavyweight boxing, knows that fighting Usyk isn't just another match. It's an exam against one of the sharpest minds the sport has ever seen. Usyk doesn't just box, he orchestrates. He turns opponents into instruments, playing them until they're completely out of tune. Fabio, though strong and eager, is still learning the notes.
Now Wardley Usyk. You can't rule that man out, to be honest. He's that fit, that tough, punches that hard, and he has the want to punch. That you just couldn't rule him out. But could I see him beating Usyk? Not really. I couldn't see him getting anywhere near him.
Facing Usyk now would be like jumping from the first rung to the top of the ladder without balance. Kabayel's tone carried respect for Wardley's effort, but admiration for Usyk's artistry. The gulf between them is enormous, and no amount of grit can close it overnight. Then Tyson Fury weighed in, the man who knows Usyk's brilliance better than anyone alive. Fury gave Fabio credit, called him a good fighter, a strong up-and-comer, but the look in his eyes told a deeper story. You can't compare raw potential to pure mastery, he said. Usyk's special. I felt it. Fury has shared the ring with him. He's felt that intelligence, the rhythm, the invisible control that makes champions question themselves mid-fight. Fabio's got power, Fury added, but it's like trying to punch through smoke. Against Usyk.
But if you don't, he has to, at the same time, you have to survive with him. Because if you don't, he's gonna knock you out.
Aggression fades into frustration. The Ukrainian's IQ turns strength into weakness. Fury's words weren't dismissive. They were respectful acknowledgments from one champion to another. It's not that Fabio doesn't belong in big fights, he said. It's that Usyk is just operating in another realm. Billy Nelson's analysis was cold and cutting. It's a 75-25 fight, and that's being generous, he said. Fabio's only chance is a puncher's one, and even that's optimistic. Usyk is a southpaw mastermind who calculates every exchange before it happens. He doesn't fight emotionally. He fights mathematically. Nelson respects Fabio's progress, but he knows that experience and ring IQ are the true currency of champions. Usyk has both in abundance. Fabio, still learning his own identity in the division, would find himself schooled from bell to bell. The fight wouldn't be competitive. It would be educational. Nelson's conclusion hit hard. Wardley might land one. Usyk will land dozens. Cleaner, smarter, and timed to perfection. Dave Allen, the brutally honest heavyweight veteran, said what every honest fighter thinks, but few dare to say aloud. Fabio Wardley is brave, strong, and willing, but heart alone doesn't beat a genius like Usyk. The difference between them isn't just a class, it's galaxies. Usyk operates in real time and beyond, Alan explained. He reads you before you even throw. Fabio might have the will, but Usyk's calm and composure break wills for a living. Alan's tone mixed admiration with pity. It's not that Fabio doesn't deserve a shot, he said. It's that Usyk would make that shot look foolish. Finally, Derek Chisora, again speaking from the scars of experience, summed it up with brutal clarity. You don't fight Usyk, you survive him. That's not hype, it's truth. Surviving 12 rounds with Usyk isn't about chin or toughness. It's about mental discipline, patience, and timing. Fabio, as fierce as he is, hasn't learned that level of control yet. Usyk breaks opponents not by chasing them, but by drowning them in movement, in angles, in decisions they can't make fast enough. Chisora, a warrior through and through, knows that feeling. He doesn't hit the hardest, he said, but every shot is precise. It wears your spirit down. Fabio talks like a soldier ready for war, but in a ring with Usyk, every mistake is punished, every second a lesson. At the end of the day, Oleksandr Usyk stands as the peak of modern boxing, a man who conquered divisions, defied doubters, and built a legacy carved from brilliance. Fabio Wardley, meanwhile, represents the new wave, young, raw, and full of ambition. But there's a difference between chasing greatness and being ready to face it. If this fight ever happens, it won't just be a contest. It'll be a test of reality versus ambition. If Usyk wins, it'll be another page in his story of domination. Proof once again that intelligence and precision will always outlast power. If Fabio somehow lands that one miracle punch, it would become one of the greatest upsets in heavyweight history. But the odds are microscopic. The mental gulf, the tactical divide, it's just too vast. Usyk's rhythm, his IQ, his composure, they make him untouchable. Still, the question remains, how long can Usyk keep turning away hungry challengers? And can Fabio Wardley, under all the criticism, rise high enough to one day deserve that shot? Until then, the verdict is unanimous. In this game of chess, Usyk is the grandmaster, and Fabio Wardley, for now, is still learning how to move the pieces.